Thank you for your patience. Welcome to the 26th annual Stringfest. My name is Michael Coelho and I'm the middle and high school orchestra director. You'll see me in a slightly expanded role tonight because I'm also conducting our fabulous elementary school orchestras this evening. Now I'd like your patience. I'd like to turn it over to our actual elementary school director, Marissa Scarano.
Standing in front of you is the amazing fourth grade. One thing that's so special about tonight's show is that you get to see the growth of our youngest ensemble all the way to our most advanced ensembles. And for you parents who've been with us for the last 8 years, you might remember your fourth graders' first Stringfest with a very similar program. These students picked up their instrument for the first time in October, so tonight we're going to be demonstrating to you all the skills that they've acquired over the last few months. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate is our bow control with hot cross buttons. Our next piece for you is Twinkle, one of my favorites, and we are going to put this together in the fourth grade orchestra style. Now what you're going to hear in this one is that students are starting already to put together some harmonies. So see if you can hear both of the parts in Twinkle Twinkle, fourth grade orchestra. Our next piece is even more difficult because in this one, not only are they holding harmonies, but they're holding contrasting sections. So this is one of the big time fourth grade challenges, to be able to play this all the way through twice, keeping their parts. In Ode to Joy, we work on expanding the amount of bow that we're comfortable using, and we work on increasing the precision of our left hand. So kids, make sure that you play Ode to Joy, not Ode to Sadness. Our final piece for the evening is Violin Cabbage Down, which I hope demonstrates that learning an instrument, although challenging, hard work, sometimes frustrating, can also be a lot of fun. Earlier this year, Michael and I submitted a pain grant.
Sorry, place.
Earlier this year, Michael and I submitted a paying grant to invite a world-renowned composer to come to Ipswich to work with our ensembles. Each one of our ensembles tonight has, from 5th grade up, have prepared one of her works to present to you this evening. And we've also had a chance to work with the actual composer herself. So she's worked with us refining the last little bit of each one of these pieces. Please welcome composer Sunyi Nubel to the stage as a special guest conductor of Russian Music Box.
Thank you for dealing with our technical issues tonight. The next number is going to be an abridged version of Dragon Hunter. This is a traditional piece that we do every 5th grade at Stringfest, so we're really excited to show it to you. Please enjoy Dragon Hunter. Can I have that mic?
One, two, there he goes, thank you. If I could have your attention while they're changing the stage here for the next group. My name is Mark Allman and I work with AMADA, which is the Ipswich Music, Art and Drama Association. We're essentially a parent-run booster club for all arts in the middle school, high school. And I remember my first Stringfest. My son is in high school, he's a junior. He was in Winthrop Elementary in 4th grade and they were having instrument tryout day. And he was trying the cello, and Miss Fab walked by and said, "Zeke, the way you hold that bow, you're a natural." He came home and told my wife and I that day, "Mom, Dad, Miss Fab said, I'm a cellist." And I can tell you that he's 17 years old and still playing the cello. Never underestimate the power of the arts to change a student's life, or the power of a teacher to do that. What we do in AMADA is we support the teachers and the school system. My son competed in a statewide competition this past weekend in which the high school chamber orchestra got perfect scores. The woman... The judge who spoke to them afterwards said, "How long have you all been playing?" And they all said, 3rd, 4th grade, right? And she says, "That's why you have the music program you do." Yes, and it's because of people like Mrs. Scarano and Mrs. Fab and Mr. Lee and Mr. Coelho and all of the arts faculty. So real briefly, what we do is we raise money every year, and then what we use it for is to supplement the arts education. We pay for judges to come in and listen to students before competitions. We do over 30 summer grants for students to keep up their chops in the summer months so they come back in September ready to pick up where they left off. We do college scholarships, we pay for instruments, we pay for buses, we pay for memberships so that, for our teachers so our students can compete in those state competitions. We do all that because we have the support of a great administration, an amazing faculty, and an amazing community that invests in the arts. I want to invite you to be part of this. Last year we gave about $20,000 in arts education supplemental help. I'm going to invite you to be part of that. I have a team of volunteers. Miss Kenny, where are you? Miss Kenny is right here, and she's going to grab some students from somewhere, or adults. And if you are willing to help support the arts, just raise your hand, and they will get an envelope to you. You can also go on in the program book. There's a way to do it through a QR code. You can see everything we're doing in our program book. If you haven't seen it yet, please grab one on the way out. And thank you for keeping arts alive here in Ipswich. Thank you very much. Raise your hands up nice and high.
Gulch. Thank you. That was our sixth grade orchestra with Phil's on Fire. At this time, I'd like to welcome Sunhee Newbold to the stage to talk briefly about her pieces that our middle school orchestras will be performing tonight, which is Viking coming up, Invicta by the 7th and 8th grade, and Arabian Dreams performed by the middle school chamber orchestra. And I just want to say I have been playing her pieces since I was in middle school, so when I got to meet her, I was a fangirl, so it's kind of amazing. Yes, so please welcome Sunhee Newbold.
Yeah, the mic is for giants, apparently. Hi, I'm Sunhee Newbold, composer. I can't tell you how honored and thrilled I am to be here. Ipswich, you've been amazing. It's like coming home. I used to spend my summers at Tanglewood in Massachusetts, and I grew up on the East Coast. I live in California now, but I still consider myself an East Coast girl. So thank you so much for having me back. One of the questions I always get as a composer is, what inspires you? What is your composition process? What does it do? How do you do it? Well, I'd like to consider myself a storyteller. When people ask me what I do as a career, I say I'm a storyteller. And one of my favorite ways of telling stories is through music. I'm a very visual composer. I like to get a story or an epic legend or see pictures or images in my head. So earlier you heard Russian Music Box, which was inspired by some of our Russian art, the Fabergé eggs, the ballet, even music boxes, and the story of Anastasia. Next, you're going to hear Viking, which, invokes images of conquering seafaring warriors, explorers, and adventurers. Later, you're going to hear Invicta, which displays the resilience of the human spirit throughout even the most challenging of times and obstacles, including this pandemic. That was what I wrote this piece. It was during the pandemic. I was trying to find some sort of inspiration. I was really suffering through some writer's block. And I thought, well, what has really endured throughout all of mankind, throughout history, has been the human spirit, no matter what is thrown at us. I'm going to hear some brilliant soloists on that one. And then lastly, you're going to hear Arabian Dreams, which I love the tales of like Scheherazade, Arabian Nights, and racing horses through the desert. So please enjoy these next few stories.
Our second piece, Invicta, composed by Soon-hee, was designed to be a piece of work that could feature a guest soloist or orchestra member while continuing to challenge the rest of the orchestra body. In this piece, I'm beyond proud to feature violin soloist Jacoby Scarano and viola soloist Maggie Carlberg. Please give them a round of applause. This is our audition middle school chamber orchestra, and I just want to recognize some people who have made it work this year. Without them, it would not have been possible. We love to have the high schoolers mentoring the younger students. So I'd like to have the high school mentors stand and be recognized for their volunteerism every Friday from 2:30 to 4 on a Friday. High schoolers. Let's enjoy Arabian Dreams. You can check. Violins only. Listen carefully. Good, thank you.
down here. 3 more pieces, and then 7:58. 3 more pieces, and then violins and violas. We're gonna go get our instruments, and then cellos are gonna stay here for a minute. When you come back, 5th grade will be on this side. 4th grade violins and violas will be on that side. Cello will put you in front. Yes, thank you, Carl. Okay? Does anybody want a word, sir? Yes, yes.
Hello. So, as we welcome our high school ensemble to the stage, we would also like to welcome back Suni Newbold to share her thoughts around Blue Fire Fiddler that our high school concert orchestra is performing, and Orion and the Scorpion performed later by our chamber orchestra. Please welcome Suni Newbold.
First, I want to say a few words of thanks. Parents, friends, family, you've been a big support. None of us could do this without you. Thank you for acknowledging the importance of music and the arts. And thank you for being here and supporting your really talented musicians. Can everyone give them a big round of applause? Thank you also to the amazing staff. I don't know how they did it. They've had so many things thrown at them, and to put something like this together is like running a small country. And then to have all these changes at the last minute happening, they did it without a hitch. I wouldn't have never been able to know. I don't know how they do it. They're miracle workers. So thank you so much to the musical staff here. And then a couple words about the amazing musicians. I want to say that you guys have been one of the best groups that I've ever been able to work with and be able to experience. And I just want to thank you for that, because you guys not only play well, but you play with passion and with musical abilities that are beyond your years. You've been really mature. You've been so eager and excited to learn, and that's so inspiring for a composer like me. Thank you so much to you guys. It's not very often that you come across people that are really extraordinary at what they do, and Marissa Scarano and Michael Coelho, wow, I just, they would have been my absolute, I had a very famous educator tell me once that the job of a teacher is to remove all the obstacles that they have. You know, every student can be great, and it's just the teacher's job to remove those obstacles, those different challenges that they have. All of these kids really are great, and I would say that Michael and Marissa have they're not only just giving the keys of success to them to play well, but the keys to succeed in life. They are like the Rosetta Stone, and they're opening up all these possibilities. So they're not only giving them the key to succeed, but also showing them many, many more doors that they have to open. And so I just want to thank you for that. Okay, a few words about the pieces and then let's get going. Blue Fire Fiddler. Fire's so hot that it's blue. This was a tribute to some of my exciting time that I got to study fiddle. I love traditional music. It's a part of our history. I love folk songs. You heard some of them earlier today. So Blue Fire Fiddler is kind of a homage to that. Some of my favorites would be Mark O'Connor. I love the Appalachian hymn that Yo-Yo Ma and Joshua Bell did. And then later, Orion and the Scorpion is an advanced piece written for orchestra. Orion was a mighty hunter in legend that bragged that he could kill anything and everything on the earth. Mother Earth was afraid for life and decided to send a scorpion to teach him a lesson. They had an epic battle. They ended up killing each other, and then Zeus put them in the stars as a reminder to everybody. My favorite thing, one of my absolute favorites, is exploring space. If I could pick any sort of pipe dream, it was to be an astronaut until I figured out you had to do math. But I have this vision of Orion and the Scorpion is really about the constellation. It's one of the most well-known, one of the most famous, one of the most recognizable. So just journey with me through the middle of the Orion's belt to where you can explore galaxies and see stars being born. And so that's what that piece is about. Enjoy the next one, Blue Fire Fiddler, and you guys are really in for a great treat also with the orchestra, so enjoy the rest of the concert.
Our next selection, Danza Latina by Brian Balmages, will feature our senior principal violist. Please give a round of applause for Maddie Duffy. All right. Our final high school concert string selection needs a moment to set up because we will be welcoming the artistic talents of junior Thomas O'Connell. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Yeah. I would also like to take this time to recognize our seniors, who actually started in this building when I did 7 years ago. It has been the greatest privilege of my life to work with them as their teacher. I've never known Ipswich without them, but I know that they will continue to thrive and share their brilliant minds and talents with the world wherever they will go. I also want to thank you, the families who have allowed music to flourish in Ipswich. Seniors, when I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Ava Boardman. Ella. Thank you, yeah. Ella Boardman. Elizabeth Bova. Josie Clapp. Amelia Cormier. Chloe Doonan. Maddie Duffy. Jacqueline Jardis. Avi Gamdiaz. Seamus Gallagher. Carolyn Jepson. Morgan Marshall. Jaden Parker. Victoria Peckrell. Liam Powers. Gabby Ramashi. Jenny Tarr. Paul Wirtz. Olivia Wynot. And Nell Woolfolk. Don't forget to
violins and violas are going this way, cellos and bass are hanging. Yeah, they're getting their instruments.
Yes. As we move toward the final portion of our program, we would like to highlight a moment in our orchestra's history that will affect future generations. Through the Ipswich Education Foundation, the string program was gifted with $50,000 to begin to purchase the Stephen W. King Heritage Collection of Instruments. This collection of 4 instruments put into the hands of the leaders of the orchestra will lift the orchestra to new musical standards. We've already heard the difference in our first violins. The high school chamber ensemble is our top ensemble. Their dedication and commitment to excellence was rewarded last weekend with a gold medal, all perfect scores at the MICA competition. The judges were effusive in their praise, stating that the energy and passion with which they played set them apart from other ensembles they had heard. Here is our final piece, again composed by the great Soon-He Newbold, Orion and the Scorpion. Now I'd like to welcome the middle schoolers back on stage and the 4th and 5th graders in the pit, cellos in front for Tallis Cannon.
So you guys are going to go all along the side.
Nope, right in front. Right in front for your cellos. Cellos, right in front. Right in front.
Yeah.
You can practice this part standing up with me. I'll get you a chair. Yeah. Can you get one chair, please, for Sydney? Right over here. Okay, 4th grade.
Our final piece this evening
Get that chair. Yeah, just stand right there for a minute. Come on, 4th grade.
Yeah, because this is it.
All the way over, 4th grade. All the way over.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you. So, 4th graders start us with G, G, D, G. Then everyone plays Tallis Cannon together. I'm an 8th grader, do I play? Yes. I'm a senior, do I play? Yes. Everyone. I'm a 5th grader, do I play? Yes. Then, the next group to enter after that playthrough grades 5 through 8, violas, cellos, and basses. Stand up if you're grades 5 through 8, violas, cellos, and basses. Wave your hands. You're the next group. Sit down. 5 through 8, violin. Stand up. Wave your hands. You are coming right after them. Sit down. High school, cellos, violas, and basses. Stand up. Wave your hands. I just felt like doing that. Great. You're the next group. And then finally, high school violins. Wave your bows. You are the final group. I know it's been a few years since we've done this, but this is a really important Ipswich tradition. Here we go. One second. What is it? You can stand anywhere you want.
Our final piece this evening will feature every string player in the Ipswich String program. This program cannot exist without many people. We would like to thank our administrators for their continued educational support. They understand how important music is for the growth of a student's body, mind, and heart. So thank you, Jerry Dolan, Dr. Blake, and the principals and vice principals of the high school, the middle school, the Paul F. Doyon Memorial School, and Winthrop Elementary School. We would like to thank our colleagues whose extraordinary support was demonstrated today and always. You jumped in, you helped out, you rose to the challenge. We couldn't have a better team, and I'm so grateful to be part of your team and to be serving alongside of you. I told my students I would cry, and here I am at home recording these videos, and I'm crying. We want to thank our community. Oh my goodness, you've seen tonight why it is so special to be here in Ipswich. Amada's constant support throughout the years, the Payne Grant, which enabled Sunhee to come in for this week, and the Ipswich Education Foundation with Steve King and their generous donations. I'm so thankful to be a part of this community. Parents, we know that you've seen the ups and downs of practicing, stage fright, the exaltation of a job well done, and experiencing these musical life moments is so precious to have with your children. Keep up the good work. Students, it is truly an honor to be your teacher. You have no idea how much Mr. Coelho and I care for each one of you so deeply. We love being on this journey with you, and we love making music with you. So, make sure you have your tissues handy, because you are going to enjoy this last piece, Tallis Canon, featuring every single one of our 280 string players from the Ipswich Public Schools.
Charles, you good? Yeah. 1, 2, G, double S.
arts, you're going to pick up your student in the orchestra room, which is right when you come in the Performing Arts Center. Right to the orchestra room. Bye.